God, y'all gotta get in here and check this out. I love you, Janet Jackson, but I'm gonna need for you to do a little bit of research instead of talking about what you heard in interviews. In a recent sit-down interview, legendary singer Janet Jackson did with The Guardian, she speaks on hearing that Kamala Harris is not black. She was quoted saying, "She's not black. That's what I heard. She's Indian. Her father is YT." Now, I'm sure you guys have heard this story by now because it's been everywhere, but with a simple Google search, Janet Jackson could have pulled up a photo of Kamala Harris's father, and this would have ended this entire situation.
Respectfully, the black community loves you, but at least she wants to be black. Your brother did not. I didn't want to go to the grave, but I had to go to the grave. Your brother did not. At least she wants to be black. Your brother did.
So I'm in Chicago, and it occurs to me I need to teach a quick civics for celebrities course. So here are 5 things to know for today's lesson. Number 1, Kamala Harris is black. She has a black Jamaican father. She grew up in Oakland, California. She attended Howard University, a historically black college. And most importantly, she says she's black.
Oh my God. Janet Jackson, not you! Not you! Not you! Hey! Fatigué! Fatigué! Janet Jackson is in the latest in an article today released by The Guardian where she calls Kamala Harris's daddy white. Girl! Kamala Harris's daddy is a blood clot Jamaican from Portmore, Jamaica. Put your lighters up. That full-blown Jamaican girl. What are you doing? You need to be worried about them 3 white kids. Your brother, who is currently at the crossroads, has 3 kids from the utmost top of the mountain of Caucasus. Okay? You're blonde white.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The black liberals are upset. They are mad today, okay? And we gotta talk about why. Because this controversy surrounding Kamala Harris's alleged black heritage just will not go away. It's not going away, okay? And the reason why it's not going away is because I'm telling you, normal, everyday black people do not believe that Kamala Harris is black. The only black folks that believe that Kamala Harris is black, and I'm saying believe in quotes because I don't think they actually believe it. They're just saying it because this is what they want to be true, right? Although they don't have evidence or proof to really back up their claims. But anyways, the only people that really believe this are the black liberal elite, right? And they get really upset when people question Kamala Harris's identity. And when you have somebody with the status and fame of Janet Jackson coming out and saying that, hey, I heard she's not black, right? I didn't know Kamala was black. That's going to piss off a lot of people. You know, the black bourgeoisie, they're going to be melting down over this for at least a week, right? For the next week, okay? They're going to be losing their mind until they bully Janet Jackson into an apology, right? That's what they're going to try to do, okay? Because you see this headline here from NBC. Janet Jackson tells interviewers she heard Kamala Harris is not black, echoing election disinformation. Yeah, so apparently it is disinformation to say, well, I heard that Kamala Harris is not black, right? Again, it's just fascinating. It really is. It's fascinating where we're at right now. So I'm going to read this quote here from the article, the original article. It's The Guardian. And this was brought up because of the interviewer basically asking Janet Jackson about Kamala Harris becoming the first black female president. And basically this is what Janet Jackson's response was. Quote, well, you know what they supposedly said, she asked me. Quote, she's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian. She looks at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have Indian heritage. Quote, well, she's both, I offer. Quote, her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. She coughs. I was told that they discovered her father was white. I mean, according to Judge Joe Brown, her father is of Irish descent, right? And Indian descent. Now, again, you know, Donald Harris could just come out and, explain to the world that, hey, I'm black, right? I have African ancestry or whatever, right? This is what he could come out and say, but he doesn't, right? He won't do it. Again, I wonder why. Why won't this man just come out and say, listen, here's my African ancestry. Kamala is black. Because I think that this actually really is an important matter. Why do I say that? Well, it's important because the history books are going to say that Kamala Harris was the first black female president. And that may not actually be accurate, right? And if that happens, it's stuff like that that makes me really question history, right? I mean, I really question, like, did things happen the way that the history books claim? Because I am living in 2024 and I am watching history be written or rewritten in real time, right? We've seen this happen throughout this election cycle. And it's stuff like this that really makes me question a whole lot of history. I'm floored at this point. It's well known that Harris's father is a Jamaican economist, a Stanford professor who split from her Indian mother when she was 5. Now, again, that's the thing that really gets me about these people. Every time they talk about Kamala's father, they say that he's Jamaican. They don't say that he's black. Jamaican is a nationality. So saying that he's Jamaican is not proof that she's black, because not all Jamaicans are black. But again, I don't know why is it that this is never something that is understood by people who present themselves as intelligent people, right? Quote, my mother understood very well that she was raising 2 black daughters. Harris wrote in her book, The Truths We Hold. The people who are most vocal and question the facts of Harris's identity tend to be hardcore QAnon adjacent, Trump-loving conspiracy theorists. No, that's actually not true. The people who are questioning her heritage the most are black people like Janet Jackson, because most black people in this country do not think that Kamala Harris is black. I don't think Jackson falls into that camp, but I do wonder what the algorithms are serving her. It's not the algorithms. It's the fact that as a black person, black people can recognize people who are black, right? Like, I mean, this is not hard, okay? This is not a hard concept. But again, I love when these liberals who are not black try to tell black people who is black and who is not black. Again, it's just hilarious. I start again. Harris has dual heritage, I say, and given this moment, does Jackson think America is ready for her? If we agree she's black, or okay, a woman of color. Quote, I don't know, Jackson stage whispers. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes is going to be mayhem. Wow. So basically, this woman is trying to get a full-throated endorsement out of Janet Jackson for Kamala Harris, right? And Janet Jackson is like, well, shoot. Honestly, I don't want to say either way. Wow. She doesn't think there will be a peaceful transition of power. Quote, I think there might be mayhem. She falters. Either way it goes, but we'll have to see. Yeah, so the Kamala Harris supporters, right, the woke revolutionaries, the black liberals, you can imagine they were very upset about these comments from Janet Jackson. Take a look.
She's trying to destroy her legacy. Janet Jackson recently sparked some controversy by claiming that Harris is not black. She said that the Democratic 2024 presidential nominee has a white father. And when asked her thoughts about the United States potentially having its first female black president, she said, well, she's not black. I heard that she's Indian. When her brother passed away, he was a complete full-blown white lady. And we still loved and adored him. What does this have to do with anything? Why is it so hard to understand the facts that she is a biracial woman? First of all, her father was not white. He was a black Jamaican economics professor. And her mother was of Indian descent. Janet should have sat this one out.
All right, let's talk about this Janet Jackson quote. Before I start, I said this when the nomination happened, that regardless if you're voting for Kamala or not, regardless if you like her or not, any of the racism that was going to be hurled her way over the next 3+ months it was going to be thrown back at everyday black people. As we have seen in the 2 months since that nomination switch, it was a lot. So for Janet Jackson to tote the Sergeant War question of Kamala's blackness that Trump was spewing right before the debate, it is disappointing. It also got people bringing up a whole bunch of stuff when it regards to her brother Randy and Joe Jackson, and if he actually liked black people or didn't like black people who were too black. That's a whole nother video. The story has gotten so big that the white trades are now picking it up. Here is the full article from The Guardian. You can pause to read. Listen, Damina Joe, you're gonna have to come on here and make a video of you whispering an apology, because this is not good. This is not good. Regardless of how people feel about her, this is not good, especially since we just saw you at Essence Fest.
Janet Jackson. So Janet Jackson, in a new interview with The Guardian, claims that Kamala Harris is not black. So for some reason, very much like when Barack Obama was running and they were trying to say that he wasn't an American citizen because he was born in Hawaii, they're trying to discredit Kamala Harris not being black. So Janet Jackson, in a new interview with The Guardian, said this. Well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian, her father's white. That's what I was told. She then continues. She says, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. Kamala Harris's father is a Jamaican economist. He was a Stanford professor who split from Kamala's Indian mother when she was 5. Kamala said this in her book. She says, my mother understood very well that she was raising 2 black daughters. She also went to a historically black college. She's black.
Now, Miss Jackson, I was getting ready to get real nasty on your ass, but instead, I decided to delete and retract the tweet because, you know what, I was coming from a place of anger, not understanding, because I do understand that you just lost your brother and you're possibly still grieving. But I'm going to just let you know right now, you are too grown to be going off of what the internet or what you done heard. You need to start doing research. And for you not to understand or know who Vice President Kamala Harris is or not know anything about her background is very telling. You are about to be 60 years old, sis, and you're telling me you do not know who is running for the highest office in the land. But as far as Kamala Harris's blackness go, I want you to look at your biracial children and you tell me if they're black. Did you know that 2 things can exist at the same time? You can be black and brown simultaneously. Now, everybody want to blame somebody else or blame you for living in a bubble, but baby, the only person I can blame is you. Again, you are too grown to not know this information. Please, Janet, no more running with rumors. Remember, you said you didn't like rumors either. Remember when they said you had a secret baby that you hid away from the world? Wasn't that hurtful? It's just as hurtful as spreading rumors about Kamala Harris's blackness and erasing it. Kamala Harris's father is a whole black Jamaican man.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Now, I find this conversation to be hilarious for multiple reasons, okay? Because when you explain it, you're probably losing. And there's a whole lot of splaining going on from the Kamala Harris supporters that are upset with this. Now, here's the issue. The issue is that none of these people have proof or evidence that Kamala Harris is black. That's the funny part. When you hear these people prove that Kamala Harris is black, they say things like, well, she went to Howard University. Oh, she joined a black sorority. Oh, she identifies as black, right? These are all things that a white person can do. But none of this stuff is proof that she's actually a black American in the sense of how we typically identify black Americans. Like, for example, she's not Shannon Sharp black, right? She's not Michael Jordan black, okay? She is not black in the way that, again, most people recognize what black is, okay? Which is basically having ancestry, okay, that dates back multiple generations to slavery, okay, in this country, right? That is typically how we identify black Americans. That is how we distinguish black Americans, again, who have ancestry dating back multiple generations from Africans, right? Africans that come over here, and they are distinctly different, specifically when it comes to culture, right, from black Americans, right? I'm talking about how we typically use these terms, right? So we know for a fact that Kamala Harris doesn't have that. Now, I guess the argument here is that, well, Kamala Harris has 1 drop of black blood, therefore she's black, which again is white supremacist ideology, by the way. But even Donald Harris himself, on Kamala Harris's birth certificate, when asked specifically your color or your race, this man said Jamaican. So he doesn't even identify as black. And just because he looks black doesn't mean that he's actually black, which is the only evidence that these people have. Well, he looks black, therefore we think he's black. And it's like, well, there are a lot of East Indian people that look black, right? They look African, Okay, they look like they could be of African descent, but they're actually Asian, right? They're from, India in regards to their recent ancestry, right? Again, we can get deeper into the anthropological kind of, distinctions between race and stuff like that, but that's too deep and too technical of a conversation for this, right? The point is this. Are we at the point now where we're now saying that you can be transracial? Is that what it is? Because if that's the route that these people want to go down, then every white person in the hood can basically say, yeah, I'm black, right? And hey, I got some African ancestry way, way, way down the line, okay? Not anything recent, but way down the line. And I was raised in the hood. So I'm black, right? So I need to get all the special rights and privileges associated with being a black person, right? That is where these people are going, right? With Kamala Harris. That's how far they're reaching. They're reaching that far that I could probably justify a lot of white people, okay, that live around black people. Hey, I guess you're black, right? If Kamala Harris is black, you're black too, right? And also any Indian people as well too, okay? Because that also applies to racial minorities that look black, right? If you look like you could be black, okay, you claim to be black, you identify as black, therefore you are black. I'm just saying that's where we're going here. Because the only argument these people have is that, well, she looks like she might have some African ancestry. And she went to Howard University. She joined a sorority. She cooks collard greens in a bathtub, and she dated a black man named Willie. Therefore, she's black. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, right? If that's your standard, then Rachel Dolezal needs an apology, right? We need to issue Rachel Dolezal an apology, okay? She needs to be vindicated. But speaking of apologies, these people are not going to stop until Janet Jackson apologizes, right? Until she gets on both knees and comes out and says the magic words, oh, I educated myself, I did my research, and I've determined that Kamala Harris is black. It is so important to fight against misinformation/disinformation that is so prevalent in this election, yada, yada, yada. That she's going to say that. She's going to read the script, right? This is what they want her to do. And I'm hoping that she doesn't, right? Janet Jackson, stand strong. You didn't say anything wrong. You just said what everybody knows and what everybody thinks because everybody can see right through Kamala Harris in her act, right? Everybody can see it, okay? Especially if you're black, right? Of course you can see it. So, again, it is what it is. I just find this stuff to be hilarious, how these people are so determined to say that Kamala Harris is black and to prove that she's black, but yet they haven't provided any evidence yet, right? I still haven't seen the evidence, but it's okay. It doesn't matter, right? If that's what we're doing, if we're doing transracialism now, right? If we can say that, okay, well, you can identify as however you want to identify, fine. I'm just saying, allow white people, okay, and everybody else to do the exact same thing, to identify as black if they say that I'm black, right? Like Kamala Harris. Just allow everybody else to do that too, and I'm cool with it. I don't care. I don't even think it's that big of a deal. I just find it hilarious how these people get so triggered by the fact that there are people out there that have questions about Kamala Harris' identity. Again, these, are coming from the same people who will question the blackness of somebody like me because of my political beliefs, right? They want to align blackness with political beliefs, and they have no problems questioning the blackness of somebody that doesn't believe the same things they believe. But when it comes to people questioning Kamala Harris's blackness, because there's not much evidence that she's black, they want to boo-hoo, whine, and cry about it, right? Again, it's just hilarious to me. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.